Okay, in this portion of the video we're going to look at putting on high power USB charging ports, because I run two phones to run two 360 cameras. Depending on what I'm doing, if it's Facebook or YouTube, then I'll run either both simultaneously or one and then the other, depending again where I'm at. And to do that, it'll burn down a phone battery in about 30 minutes. So, from fully charged. So I have to keep them plugged in. Sometimes the cameras will also burn down the battery. So if I put dual port charging up here and one in the rear for the rear camera, then it allows me to keep filming a little bit longer. So I'll show you what I'm doing. Alright, so basically what I've done is I've bought two of these off Amazon. They are USB charger, 12 volts connection, and basically they put out 6.1 amps total. So what they look like, they'll have a voltmeter on top so you can tell you your display your battery's condition, and then they have a little weatherproof cover and on-off switch, which I think is really cool, and a high output USB port. So that'll allow me to charge again my Insta360 cams and one, if not both phones at the same time. So let's get started on the install. Okay, now that we got these bolts out that were insanely tight, let's see if we can get this seat off. Oh, there we go. There's our bag. We'll have to admit, this is probably one of the most comfortable factory seats I've ever had. I've had a lot of different kinds. I had Corbin aftermarket, I had Sargent's, I've had factory, not factory, I can't remember who made it, but gel seal on my Gen 1 Busa. And it's probably, it's more comfortable than that. And that's pretty crazy because I paid a lot of money for that gel seat back in 2003. Anyway, let's figure out how we're going to route this and find a way to sneak around all these body panels. So really don't want to pull all this mess apart today. Don't have a lot of time. I need to get some rides in, and yeah. All right, let's get started again. Let me do some snooping. All right, so we get this one panel off on this side. Yeah, don't break stuff. I mean, after all, you just put it on, right? Okay. Questions. Ding. All right. Press these little pins, then to pull out, get this panel off. There's little quick pins down here. It's hard to show you, I know, but if you own one of these, you'll know what I'm talking about already. And you gotta be able to push those pins to get them to release. So you'll shake a little bit, and what I'm saying is, see here, that insert pushes forward, so backwards to get it reset, stick it in the hole, and then you push it until it is flush, and now expands those little arms right there. See? I don't know if you can see those arms. So when we need to get access to it, we'll push it beyond just one click, and it allows them to contract and us to pull this out by wiggling the panel, and it'll pull right out. So when you want to reset them, you just push them all the way to there, and now you can put it back in the hole, and then push it flush. It's locked. Okay? So let's get the other one out. Get this panel out of the way. It wasn't as much of a nightmare as I thought it would be. So there's the panel. It's got 1, 2, 3 quick snap-ins, whatever, sending locating pin and 2 quick clips. Then you'll have those little black rotary pins. Then you'll have those little black rotary pins that I just showed you. Okay, so let's get this out of the way. Okay, as you can see, we got this cover off, and we have a fuse block here. What this is it has all our fuses for our electronics. So looks like fan right, ignition, signals for your turn signals, park lights, ABS motor, ABS valve. Looks like fuel pump, fan left, headlight high, headlight low. So it doesn't like they left us some of these spares, so we're gonna have to go directly to the battery. Yeah. So let's see if we can get this back on. And our battery's gonna be located back here under the seat. And we could probably snake our wires in through this access cover or this side panel, you know, is what it is. Hopefully through this area here and around that tank. Alright, I'm not quite sure you can tell, but I routed it from the battery back here. I went ahead and made my terminations, and it's got a quick connect so I can unplug it if it's sitting along storage, and I can plug in my trickle charger. And it runs down behind this panel that's held on by Velcro and a couple of quick clips, and then zip ties up here to this line. Goes up in front of the tank, which is the airbox cover, and then it zip ties to the base of my small rig. This is one of my Insta360 cam mounts, and it's made by Small Rig. It's a very nice, I'm going to say very high quality exoskeleton rig for the Insta360s, and it allows me to mount it here. It has on-off switch again, and 2 high output, oh good lord, USBs. Okay, so waterproof with the cover on it. We'll see how it all lays out here in just a minute. Alright, let's see if we can get this put back together here since we got everything mounted. This is the inner panel on the left side. Need to turn the steering wheel to the right, of course, to be able to get up in there. And this is the locating tab that goes up to that front slot up here. So let's see if we can snake it in here. Carefully. We're not very careful with anything. You know. Yeah, feel it numb, you know this. Okay. Goes. Snap into that one. Clip. Put this bolt in here loosely. It's a bearing bolt. And then you'll have those 2 quick pins that I discussed earlier. So we'll go ahead and push them back out so that you can see. Let me get out of the light. So there you go. So you can see those. Go ahead and push them back out like this. Do both of them like that. Set them in these holes. And the panel lines up. Get it in there, and then just push the pin to press it. Snap. Just really up front, same thing. We'll go ahead and push this back. Flip. Done. Now it's just a matter of snugging down the bolt. Okay, just putting the finishing touches up, and it's snugged up. There it is. Alright, let's get everything mounted, and I'll show you what everything looks like when it's on. Alright, so I went ahead and saved y'all the painful agony of watching me do all this. Went ahead and hooked up both of them that I ordered, 2 high outputs. Remember, when you're doing stuff like this, you don't need to run them when you're setting still unless it's an emergency. You really need to run these while you're running down the highway or moving so that your charging system can keep up. This is not something you really want to, again, do when you're sitting out in the driveway, you know, or at a park or whatever parked. You want to do this when you're running, and you need to be charging when you're running, okay? So here's the tail piece one. So I went ahead and set it up to where I can tuck it away inside the tail section. You know, I don't know if you can see it. Let's get you a little closer. So it has 2 ports, weatherproof cover. So when you turn it on, it gives you a voltage rating. See it? Just get you right down there, okay? So then you got 2 high output ports, which are kind of cool. You can turn it off, which makes sure you're not pulling on your battery. So you also have a quick connect under the seat, which allows you to do it. And then I just take it and tuck it up under the back, and that's out of the way. So then the one up front, I go ahead and show you this one. It's tucked up under the front. Okay, and I got both my phones mounted for whatever platform I'm using. You can turn it on and both start charging. And then the 2 cameras, so this one runs YouTube and this one runs Facebook. So that's how it works. And then they control 2 different cameras, one on the front and one on the back. So I do have both charging stations done, or parts, whatever you want to call them. And hopefully I'll be ready for that trip next week to Arkansas for that cost benefit. So still more to do. Stay tuned.